Hello everyone, this is Harley from Garden FL, and in today's video we're actually going to do an April walkthrough of our tropical fruit forest here in Bradenton, Florida. So it's been a few months since I did an update video here at my house, and since then I've definitely have added a lot of tropical fruit trees, many from the farm which I've actually been bringing back to plant here, and some reasons include just because I'm able to water better here. As you know, we're in the month of April of 2021, so everything is growing, the mangoes, anonas, jaboticabas, papayas, everything right now is growing. So let's do a tour of the garden. So here is one of my main sections at my house, only because everything here I planted myself. So right here is a Rollina deliciosa. Now Rollina is one of my favorite fruit. Now this fruit tree to me is also very beautiful. As you see where it's growing right now, it's doing really good. It's pushing out new growth just on about every branch. And I've actually had a lot of success growing Rollina in a spot where there is not a lot of wind, also where it's kind of placed in a microclimate too. As you see where it's at, it's kind of placed next to these palms and also right here next to the Mexican sunflower. But anyways, moving on, as you see there's a Cecropia, and actually the Cecropia is actually one of those plants that I recently brought from my farm and planted here at my house. Now the reason being was because actually this Cecropia at my farm was planted in a spot that in the rainy season gets pretty wet, and that area on my farm particularly gets what you would call wet feet. So I didn't want to take a chance. And what I really love about the Cecropia is that it's actually flowering right now. Well, those are the flower buds that are about to open. But overall, the Cecropia, I believe this is Cecropia peltata, but the Cecropia itself loves to have decently moist soil, but also well drainage, which this spot is perfect for that. I really love the leaves of the Cecropia. It has a really cool white border to it. Looks really pretty and tropical. And you might be wondering what's actually back here that's actually bordered up, and these are the abu seedlings that I actually got from Colombia. And these abu seedlings I recently planted here at my house. Now if you didn't watch the video, I actually planted these abu seedlings recently, and the abu seedlings are doing okay. As you see, this one in particular is pushing out new growth. As you see, the abu is actually pushing out new growth, but it did take some damage, some shock when I was actually planting it, because we actually got very cold. We actually got down to 50 degrees Fahrenheit here in Bradenton, Florida, literally like 2 days after I planted them. But overall, as you see, it's pushing out new growth. And there's actually another abu seedling right here just next to it, so I actually have two abu seedlings right here. And as you see, all these abu seedlings are pushing out strong new growth. So I'm not concerned for these because we actually have warmer temperatures coming up all the way through here. And as you know, already being in April, we soon have the spring rains coming up. I actually forgot, I actually did skip an abu seedling. Now this one looks like it's toast, but as you see, it's also pushing out new growth. So moving on more over here in the center, as you see, my Kent mango tree is actually doing really well. Now Kent mango is a very old school variety. You guys probably wondering, Harley, why did you plant Kent mango when there's so many new ZIL variety mangoes? But to tell you the truth, honestly, before I even knew about the new ZIL varieties, all these new varieties of mangoes, I really only knew Kent mango. So when I first got into gardening, I went to the nursery, and once I saw this Kent mango tree, I jumped on it. But overall, I'm really happy to see that it's growing really well, and as you see, it's fruiting really good despite the size of it. Now I did tip it this season, and also it did fruit really good last season, so I'm really surprised that it's fruiting twice. But overall in the future, who knows, I might grab some other varieties, because recently I actually did plant a lot of ZIL variety mangoes here, which I'm going to point out to you just in a moment. But I actually been harvesting these dwarf papayas all month and last month as well. But as you see up there, I actually have some, I don't even know what variety of papaya that is, but as you see, there's a ripe one right there. But to be honest, I've been eating so much papaya lately, so we're going to continue on, because as you see, the sun is about to set. So moving on through here, as you see, this is Mexican sunflower that I actually planted from a cutting, and I'm surprised under a year it grew this size. Now I even actually pruned this back like twice already, so I actually need to prune it back once again. I'm actually going to use it for chop and drop. But as you see, in this little area, there's actually a lot going on, which I'll point out. As you see right here is actually my Pepchang Atemojia. Now this was a grafted Pepchang Atemojia from Fruitscapes in Pine Island, but as you see, it's growing really good. And like I said, I'm not going to let it flower, I'm just going to let it grow vegetatively this year. And I'll probably let this fruit in about 2 to 3 years, so I'm really looking forward for that Pepchang Atemojia. And also all around the Pepchang, I do plant pineapples, just to utilize. Now there are some things that I recently just planted today, one being the Thai giant jujube. Now this right here is actually a jujube that I planted, and it's actually bare right now because I took off all the leaves, but I'm really looking forward for this jujube tree to grow. And I also want to point out a few things before the night falls. But as you see, one right here being the red alama tree, as you see, you can kind of see the reddish tint on the red alama, but this is Anona that actually is coming back. But right back here at my property, I actually have various Namwa bananas. Here we have the dwarf Namwa. As you see, the Namwas are all pushing new growth. Here we have the taller Atemoyas. Now my tall Atemoyas, I can't wait because they're growing really nice. And also all around my farm, I do have sugar apples planted everywhere, and those are coming back in growth very nicely. I really can't wait for the Nona season this year. This year I'm actually gonna let them grow a lot vegetatively, so I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing how much they grow before the rainy season compared to after. And actually back here I recently planted a few things, one of them being Annona montana. Now this Annona montana I actually brought back from my farm, and as you see, actually the Annona montana is pushing on new growth already ever since I planted it a few days ago. So this is one too that really loves water, so it's really gonna love being planted here at my house. As you see, the girthness through the Annona montana is really nice. Although it's still small, I think it'll make a really nice tree overall, and I'm really looking forward to using the seeds as rootstock once it fruits. But as you see, I really like looking back over here, kind of at the middle portion. As you see, what you're looking at here is Annona reticulata, custard apple, and this Annona reticulata is actually a really nice tree. It's actually pretty tall and thick, going all the way up, and I believe it's breaking buds somewhere on the tree. I can't really see, but I want to point out to you really quick some new things that I planted right here. And actually this is an M4 mango that I recently planted here from my farm. And another reason why I wanted to bring some of the mangoes here, the digital variety mangoes, is just because on my farm they were kind of struggling because they weren't getting a lot of water, and these mangoes were in the pure sunlight, you know, where it was in full sun. So I really wanted to bring them here so I can grow them a little nicer, and I can conserve the budwood in the future so I can graft onto them, you know, onto different mangoes. And this is another one that I brought from the farm. This one I actually lost a tag, but I actually got it from Leaf in West Palm Beach, and I actually know it was a really good variety. So this was another one too that was really struggling at my farm, and ever since I planted it here at my house, it's been, you know, it's been gaining back the color in its leaf. The leaves were kind of yellow at my farm, but here, you know, they're kind of turning back to a nice you know, darker green color. So let's actually move to the front of the house, because as you see, the sun is setting a little bit. Before we move on, I actually wanted to show you guys, I have planted this dwarf Hawaiian here at my house, because dwarf Hawaiian is, as you know, a dwarf variety mango, and this will grow real good right here, and I'll be able to maintain its size by, you know, by tipping the mango, keeping it pruned. And right over here I actually have a zinc mango. Now this zinc mango is doing really good. I can't wait for this zinc mango, because this mango is going to be a really good mango. You know, I've heard nothing but good things about zinc. As you see, I have various papayas here forming, and this papaya actually is just forming for the first time, but this papaya actually formed really long, so I'm hoping it's like a long Thai variety papaya, because this papaya I got from a Vietnamese vendor at the Mustang Wheel flea market before it closed. And I got various different papayas from this one Vietnamese old lady. She was really cool. I used to buy a lot of things from her. So this is one of the last things that I bought from her. So I'm hoping she had a really good. And I already bought another papaya from her, which was this variety over here. And this variety papaya was actually very sweet. It does have some cosmetic damage, but I love this variety papaya. I don't know which one it was, but I know they're different nonetheless. As you see all around the farm too, the sugar apples have actually grown a lot in foliage, and these sugar apples are the ones that are in the pot. So I'm really looking forward to the sugar apple season as well. As you see, this is actually straight Kambongan star fruit, and as you see, this star fruit looks really nice here, just growing. I really love the biodiversity. As you see, I have sugar cane, and I have different things, you know, planted right there in the ground. But we're gonna move actually over here to the front, where I actually planted some new things today. Like I said, I just really want to show you guys before I lose the sunlight. Right here, something I'm really looking forward to. This is actually a Keo Savoy mango. Now, Keo Savoy is a Thai mango, which you can actually eat green. As you see, Keo Savoy. And although you can eat it green, and it's sweet and crunchy, if you don't know, you can also eat green mangoes, and it tastes really good if you make it like a sweet and sour sauce with chilies, or you can just eat it with salt and lime. There's a lot of different ways you can eat it, but also you can eat this mango obviously when it's ripe, and it's also really good. It's shaped like the Thai variety mango, you know, with the pointy end. So this one I'll be looking forward to tipping. Now, as you see, my sugar apples, as I mentioned before, they're all growing back. As you see right over here, we actually have sugar apple flowers. Now, these are sugar apple flowers forming off new growth. And as you see, although they're not open yet, these are actually still really premature flowers. You know, these still have a few weeks before they initially open. That one actually fell, so that one won't even be opening. As you see, the sugar apple will actually produce flowers and drop many flowers, and that's what they do. You know, we're still kind of early in the sugar apple season, although I do know many people with sugar apple flowers and also with fruit set on sugar apples. That's typical if your flowers fall. You know, some fall and some actually stay on and keep, so I'm not too worried about it. So moving on, as you see, it actually got kind of dark, but I do want to show you guys something that I'm really happy for. This is actually soursop or guanabana seeds, and these are ones that I actually got from Colombia, and these soursops are huge that they all came from. As you see, all the soursops are doing really good, and I'll just pull one out of here for you to see. But I really like how these little baby guanabanas have formed. They're just so cute. So I'm really looking forward to these. As you know, now I actually have some work to do with these guanabanas, because I actually have a lot more over here in these trays. You see, I have those, and this tray in particular just has so much soursop guanabanas that I have to take care of, you know, replant and do something, because this cell is just so small. You know, they need more room to grow for that. So I'm really happy because everything is growing here at my house, especially all my seedlings from Colombia. Now, I know it's been a while since I actually gave an update on these, but this is actually my chupa chupa. And I have more chupa chupas actually in my, you know, in the ground, actually planted, growing. So these seedlings, I'm not, you know, really too concerned for, because I have some in the ground here at my house that are growing really nice. But overall, I really like these. You know, right here is Inga spectabilis, also known as machete ice cream bean, or guama. And those are also growing really nice. Right here, I have yellow cashew. But overall, moving on, as you see, I'm really trying to get fruit trees planted all around the perimeter of my house. Now, I actually have some things that are actually flowering and fruiting right now. I've been actually eating a lot of miracle berries lately. As you see, the miracle berries are just all ready for harvest. And these in Florida are almost like non-stop for us. Something I'm really looking forward to are these limes. Now, this is actually red lime here in Florida. Now, red lime is known for being a little more disease resistant, I've heard. So as you see, my red lime tree is just doing really well here. It's really big and thick here. As you see, the base is just really thick. So I'm really looking forward for this red lime. So moving on, I want to show you some things that I'm looking forward to, you know, growing here that I actually planted recently. As you see, I see papaya that I'm actually going to harvest because I don't want to miss it. I've been missing a few papayas recently. So this is actually dwarf Malayan papaya here, growing almost in not full shade, but it's in a lot of shade. But over here, as you see, they still produce. So moving on, over here are some things I just planted recently that I want to point out. We're just going to set the papaya down right there. But this is actually a pina colada mango, and this pina colada mango I actually brought from my farm. But overall, this pina colada mango will grow really nice here, and I'll be able to tip it. And before I skip it, over here is something that I recently planted as well. As you see, this is the P22 mango. So I'm really going to be looking forward to nursing these mangoes here at my house, just because I have a really good water source, and the soil here at my house is also really good. So moving on are some things that I actually planted today, and these are some things that I'm really looking forward to. Now, this is actually the Koala longan. Now, this Koala longan I actually brought back from my farm, and then my farm already liked it over there. But believe it or not, it just wasn't getting enough water at my farm or nutrients, be it in the ground. So I'm really excited to have brought it here to my house, and I made room for it. And also too, in the future, once this longan grows bigger, I'll be able to easily air layer it and bring it to my farm once I have a water source established on my farm, which will be in the near future. But as you see, this Koala longan, being the first day here, it kind of looks a little rough, but you know, I'm going to be watering it near to every day now. But as you see, there's a tag right there, Koala longan. It's actually really good. The girthness is pretty good girthness. And going up, I really like the canopy. So overall here at my house, it'll be really good. As you see, it's even trying to push new growth here. It'll be able to grow really nice here at my house. Now, I don't want to skip it, but these are two things that I'm really looking forward to. And that is my Pepchang Atemojia, also known as PPC Atemojia. As you see, this Atemoya is growing really good here. Now, this is Atemoya graft that I got from Leaf in West Palm Beach. As you see, this Atemoya is grafted right there, and going all the way up, they grafted really well, and it's now pushing out these new leaves. As you see, I'm going to be really on top of this Atemoya, make sure it gets really good nutrients. And as you see, the Atemoya also has a lizard. Oh, he jumped off, but it's just a really nice tree overall. It's still small, but I actually planted two Atemoyas, two Pepchang. Here's one of them, and the next one is just to the left over here. Now, this one isn't growing as vigorous as that one that we just saw, but nonetheless, it's still growing really good. And the reason why I planted them too close to each other, just so they can benefit, you know, being next to each other and the pollen. And also, I just really love Pepchang, so I'm really looking forward for, you know, these trees to grow. Now, I want to show you another tree that I'm looking forward to. This is actually my wax jambu. Now, this is the red tide jumbo wax jambu, and it's actually grown a lot ever since I planted it here at my house in Bradenton, Florida. And jambu is just a fruit that is actually not only just beautiful to look at, but the flowers are actually very fragrant, you know. And I'm really looking forward to this growing here at my house. As you see, the tree itself is actually very girthy here at the bottom. It actually grew so much in one season. I'm super surprised. Now, I actually have the green variety of wax jambu here at my house too, which I'll show you briefly before the video ends. But as you see, I'm really looking forward to this wax jambu just because it stands in a really good spot. You know, it's actually right next to my Maha Chinook mango. Now, this Maha Chinook mango, believe it or not, but it actually hasn't flowered yet. But as you see, here are the flower buds right here, and I can't wait for this one to flower. Now, believe it or not, those actually might be new leaf growth. So I don't know, because my orange sherbet, which is right over there, was actually pushing out the same kind of thing. It was pushing out these little buds, you know, kind of like that. And for the longest time, I thought it was gonna be flowering, but it ended up being just new leaf growth. Which actually, my orange sherbet has something black on it, which I need help identifying it. I think it's a black spot disease or anthracnose, I'm not sure, but I'll show you it over here as well. This is actually my jackfruit tree, which is going to be pushing out a new, I believe this is a new flower. It actually pushed out the male flower, but it dropped it recently. Oh, I think this will be another flower, just because the pod that's about to push out looks a little more thicker and different. But overall, my jackfruit trees are still very small. As you see, this is kind of in the front kind of my house, and as you see, like I said, I'm trying to align all the border of my house with fruit trees. Now my mom also has this area for her roses and stuff, but I do have my area to plant my fruit trees, so I'm still trying to, you know, plant all I can. But I do really like her flowers too. Like, this is one of those flowers that I see a lot in Colombia that we have here growing, and it's really beautiful. I believe they have this flower in Hawaii a lot growing too. This is actually they call this a bamboo orchid, just because it kind of looks like bamboo, but at the same time it has the flower that kind of looks like an orchid. But as you see, it looks really cool here. I also appreciated that the flowers bring beneficial insects, like I believe these are milkweed. This is a giant milkweed, but I believe this is a monarch butterfly, the caterpillar, so I'm not too sure. But nonetheless, I really like the biodiversity here. So here we are at the very front of my house. Now as you see, I actually have this front lawn over here. Now I wish I can plant a bunch of my fruit trees out here in the very front. As you see, there's the fence, and then there's my actual house. But my parents actually want this to the front lawn, just because, you know, I don't know the reasonings for it, but whatever. I planted this longan here actually today. It's, my opinion, is a beautiful longan. This is actually a BQ longan that I actually brought from my farm. As you see, I really like it just because it's already flowering. But not only that, but the size of this longan is actually really nice. As you know, longan trees actually take a long time to grow, so this longan tree is actually really beautiful. But my father actually said it needs to be moved, just because where it's growing at, there are actually power lines right here. So he says in the future when it grows, you know, the people here have like easement or something, so they'll just come and chop it without even telling us, just because they have the rights. So it's kind of true. So I'm actually going to be moving it to a spot over here, you know, just on this side of the fence, just on the other side, just because over here I know it'll be safe. I'm just going to be planting it right over there, which is not really a big difference, although I really like the way it looks kind of right here. But also too, might be better in that spot where it is, you know, not right here, because in the future there might be people who want to take the fruit, you know, kind of it being out here near the road, you know, and longans being so delicious and fruity looking, you know. So who knows, I was kind of mad at first because I spent all day today going to the farm, then bringing everything back and transplanting it here. You know, it's a long process. And then he's like, oh no, you have to move that, but overall, whatever, you know, we'll move it. But I just really love how the longan looks. We'll just admire it for now because the flower looks really beautiful. I really love how this longan looks, but it's gonna just be over there where we're gonna move it. So as you see now, it's actually gotten really dark. Before I thought this was gonna end, you know, before sunset, but as you see, that clearly hasn't happened. So this is my orange sherbet mango that I wanted to show you guys. So this orange sherbet mango actually grew really good here ever since I planted it. I planted this orange sherbet mango for my 3-gallon, and ever since I planted it, I just been tipping it really nice. As you see, there is the base, but recently it actually has been suffering from what I believe is anthracnose. As you see, recently it just got this really ugly like new growth, kind of looks all moldy and black. As you see, I thought I was gonna push out flowers, but it actually pushed out these new leaves. But the new leaves actually look like variegated, but in a bad way, because they're like all white, almost look like they can't even take in any chlorosis, you know, they're kind of brown. So I don't know what is going on here. If you know what the issue is, if you can please tell me. So as you see, the new growth is very affected. Now I believe I may need like copper fungicide, I believe what it is. But overall, I really want to save my orange sherbet mango, just because it's a really beautiful mango. It's very vigorous, actually, from what it grew from last season. But ever since then, it just got these really like weird tips, and you know, it kind of got ugly. But moving on, I just want to show you something that I actually planted here from my farm. Now this is actually the Sapote that I planted at my farm a few months ago. Now this Sapote was actually much more prettier. I kind of wish I just planted it here for my house, you know, the moment I brought it, or the moment I bought it, to be honest. Nonetheless, I'm happy to be planting this Sapote here, just because I heard that the Sapote, as long as it's pushing out these new buds, kind of the new growth right here, it should be fine. And everyone, I kid you not, this Sapote on my farm was receiving kind of very little water every week. Now there are some things on my farm that thrive without, you know, not getting a lot of water, but this one was out in the full sun. And mamey being such a tropical fruit tree, you know, it really does appreciate having some sort of water. But overall, I'm really happy to just have it here now, just because from here on forward, I do know that this mamey is just going to explode in new growth. It actually has new growth right here. So as you see, overall, I'm really looking forward to just seeing this mamey grow here. And this is actually the first day I planted this mamey, so we'll do an update on it in about a month or so. You know, once the spring rain comes, I'm sure this mamey will just start pushing out its new foliage. And this is actually the pumpkin pie variety Sapote. Now this one I actually got from Leaf in West Palm Beach, and when I got it, like I said, it was in a much kind of prettier condition than this. Right here I have a Thai giant jujube, another tree I actually have 2 trees of the Thai giant jujubes here on my property. But this one I actually transplanted a while ago, and it's actually pushing out this new growth. Now this jujube tree actually grows really fast here in Florida, so I'm really looking for the Thai giant one, the Thai giant variety. So right here we're actually seeing the Cherylata tree. Now if you didn't know, the Cherylata is actually a hybrid of Atemoya and Annona reticulata, also known as custard apple. Now this one is actually just breaking out in buds. As you see all over the Cherylata, it does have new growth everywhere, so I'm really looking forward to this one. And this Cherylata I'm actually going to let grow a lot this season, just because last season we did fruit the Cherylata, so you know, this season we're not going to force it to pollinate. You know, last season what we did was actually hand pollinate the Cherylata. So I've actually been doing some grafting of the Cherylata, and I actually grafted it onto just regular Annona reticulata. Now I believe this is San Pablo Red is the rootstock, but as you see, here's one graft of the Cherylata I did on Annona reticulata rootstock. I'm still getting the hang of grafting, so we'll see if this takes. And then I also did a second one. Right there is where I did my second graft. So this is the first one, that would be the second one. You know, so we'll see with this Annona reticulata. As you see, this Annona reticulata is also in the front of my property, and this reticulata is nonetheless pushing out new bud growth everywhere. And this reticulata is actually pretty big, pretty tall. As you see, the girthness is actually pretty thick. Where this custard apple stands is actually really close to the Cherylata. As you see, Cherylata is just over here, but as you see, they also both stand right in the front of my property. So yeah, overall everything is going pretty good. As far as, you know, some problems we have with some of the mangoes, as far as, you know, anthracnose, but I'm really looking forward to all the fruit trees growing this spring season. So this is a fruit tree that I actually planted out here about a month ago. This is actually gooseberry. We actually call this grosella in Colombia. And as you see, this Indian gooseberry is actually flowering. This is the flowers of Indian gooseberry. It flowers off the trunk. But this tree is actually still very young and immature, so we're gonna let it grow out to be pretty big. Now actually, if you eat this fruit with miracle fruit, it actually tastes really good. They're really tart on their own. So this is one I'm really looking forward to growing here. As you see, the flowers are really just going crazy on this Indian gooseberry. As you see, it is a pretty small tree, but overall here in Bradenton, Florida, it's just growing really nice. Now I do want to show everyone how the sugar apples are doing in this season. At this time of the year, as you see, they're all still pushing out new growth. Now these sugar apples, believe it or not, are all in pots. As you see, they're mostly in about 5-gallon paint buckets, but I will actually need to be transplanting them this season. But most of the sugar apples at this point are pushing out, you know, really good leaf growth. You know, at this point, most of them should be flowering, or they should be pushing out a lot of strong vegetative leaf growth. Some of these sugar apples actually will be planting here at my house. I just have to find a right spot for them. As you see, I do have a lot of sugar apples, and I really don't know, you know, sometimes where to put it all. Here's another sugar apple that I've been kind of practicing my grafting on. As you see, it's just everywhere. This one has like a llama grafts, purple sugar apple grafts. This one has all sorts of grafting and also different grafting methods. So we'll just see overall. But I'm really happy with how my yard is coming out here at my house. You know, although I still have to nurse a lot of things, like this is just a lot of Annonas I have. These are actually Atemoya seedlings. As you see, these seedlings are about a year old. But overall, this is just something I'm really looking forward to nursing too, just because these seedlings are just really, you know, diverse, each one of them. I'm just looking forward to fruiting them. But overall, really just can't wait till the spring season that comes, because I know with the spring rains, everything will just start growing. This is another BQ longan tree I have here at my house. Now this one, believe it or not, is planted in kind of a lot of shade, but look at just how much blooms this BQ longan flower has. As you see, it's doing really good here. Oh, the blooms are really fragrant as well. And I don't want to miss it, but here is a sweet tart mango that I recently planted here from my farm, and I planted it here at my house just because it's in a spot where it can grow pretty big. You know, a sweet tart is just one of those varieties that I'll just be really looking forward to. And before we end the video, because as you guys see, it's really dark, I do want to show you guys this coconut right here that I planted last year. And as you see, this coconut, this is a dwarf yellow Malayan coconut. It has grown so much ever since I planted it. It looks so beautiful. And overall, I'm just really looking forward to this season, just because here's a passion fruit vine I have that is just going crazy over here. I just have so many fruits all around my property. And this is another mango tree that I recently planted. This is the ice cream mango, and ice cream is a really good variety mango. Like I said, I'm just really looking forward to everything. So everything is looking really good. I'm so happy for how all the plants are just looking, how they're turning on. I actually like walking through here at night just because it kind of looks different. It's like a different view. I was worried that the sunset was setting, but I really kind of like how this is the red llama. So this is something I want to share with you all. This is actually a chupa chupa seedling, Koala cordata, South American Sapote seedling that I put direct sowed here at my house. And it's actually doing really well. And this is actually in the same area as you know, in the middle, kind of the main area, the area that I really like. And there's actually another one right here, you know, and depending how these two grow, as you see, here's the second one. This one actually has a little bigger leaf, but overall it's doing really good. As you see, it's actually pushing out a second leaf right there. And just speaking of seedlings, over here that I just want to show you guys really quick. This is actually an abu seedling that I planted here about a few days ago, or maybe I would say about a week ago. But as you see, this is the one that has been doing the best so far. All my other ones have kind of suffered a little bit, but this one's in a kind of nice microclimate, I think. But as you see, everything looks good here. And I didn't even realize how nice these mangoes look. You know, checking them at night and just shining some light at them. As you see, this is the classical Kent mango already forming the look. And as you see, we just have mangoes everywhere here. So I really can't wait for this mango season this year. And this Cecropia tree too is another tree that I'm just really looking forward to this year, you know, and seeing it grow throughout this month of April. You see, now we can actually get a better look at the flowers right here. And something else I really like about this Cecropia, besides just being a beautiful tree, I actually really like the position or the area that it's planted in, you know, being right here, so close and so central. So thank you guys so much for watching this April tropical fruit forest tour at my house here in Bradenton, Florida. Now I can't wait to do another one of these in the next following months to see how much things have grown. It's also cool to see kind of too, just so we can kind of track how things kind of explode in the dormancy period in the springtime. And once we actually get those springtime rains and the springtime heat, to see how fast these tropical fruit plants react, you know, kind of being in their native temperatures. And something I want to tell all you guys is that I'm actually going to Colombia in 2 weeks this month in April. I'm actually going towards the end of April. I'm actually going to visit some family, and I'm actually going back to my farm in Cali, Colombia. So overall, I'm just really looking forward to going back there, you know, eating all the fruits again, all the anonas, the guanabanas. I can't wait. I'm going to be trying to look for some Rolinias, because I hope that we'll be in the season this time. Every time I go, I'm usually not in season, but I'm hoping this time we'll actually make it. So overall, guys, I'm really looking forward to, you know, spending some time there again and eating some delicious fruit. So you guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope all your plants are growing vigorously now that we're approaching the vigorous spring season. Thank you guys again for all the support. This is Harley from Garden FL, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye now.